Tonight, we report on an Ephrata home destroyed by fire, and the Moses Lake City Council discusses the city's fire department performance standards. What's happening in sports, Bob?
Thanks, Amber. The U.S. and Cuba mix it up on the pitch, and skipper Lloyd McClendon gets a standing ovation in the M's Yankee game last night. Let's take a quick peek at our Weather Center forecast.
And here in the weather department, we're looking for a bit of a change from the seasonal temperatures to that heat. Been telling you all week long, the heat's coming our way and maybe even a fire danger. Details coming up.
I'm Amber Jenks, and we have all this and much more on iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
An elderly woman's home was destroyed by fire in Ephrata. Ephrata firefighters responded to a pair of calls about fire at the same address in the 400 block of 9th Avenue Southeast on Monday night. The first was for a shed on fire. Firefighters were able to extinguish the fire. Chief Jeremy Burns said on Tuesday he installed new batteries in the smoke detectors inside the woman's home before leaving. Firefighters were called back to the property about an hour later for what they thought was a rekindling of the shed fire, but found the back of the house on fire. Burns said the home was a total loss and nobody was injured. Firefighters were at the home Tuesday investigating the cause of the fire. The Quincy City Council will again allow the Quincy Valley Tourism Group to use the city park for the annual hot air balloon and fireworks festival in September. Reporter Jeff Chu has the details.
Quincy City Council gave the go-ahead to another balloon and fireworks festival at Lozier Park in September. The council, during its Tuesday night meeting, allowed the Quincy Valley Tourism Group to use the park's acreage at 13th Avenue Southwest in Quincy for the annual event on September 12th. The group also wants to use the park for fireworks practice Friday before the event. The council's action allows the group to use the park's tennis courts for a beer and wine garden. That way, the beer and wine garden is fenced off for security monitoring. The tourism group is allowed to use the community stage for a band to perform during daylight hours at the event. I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER 1 News.
An electrical problem in a pump house started a fire in Moses Lake on Tuesday afternoon. The fire spread to damage an outbuilding, an old RV, and a fence on the adjacent property. According to Grant County Fire District 5, Fire Chief Dan Smith, the fire was contained roughly 15 feet away from a nearby home. The firefighters were able to extinguish the fire within 20 minutes, and Smith attributed it to people calling 911. 6 fire trucks from the District 5 and a fire engine from the Moses Lake Fire Department were used to put out the fire. There were no injuries. Grant County Economic Development Council's business recruitment manager is traveling to Japan as part of Governor Jay Inslee's trade delegation. Emily Braunwert and a team from the Port of Moses Lake plan to visit many of the Japanese companies located in Grant County, plus some that are interested in locating in Moses Lake. Braunwert said she is taking 2 trips to Japan, one with the Sister City Student Exchange and another to Tokyo with the governor's delegation at the end of August. She also plans to visit Seoul, South Korea. Moses Lake has a history of Japanese culture and companies dating back to 1968 when Japan Airlines began training pilots at the decommissioned Larson Air Force Base before it became the Grant County International Airport. 4 Japanese-owned companies near the airport are Chemicon, Materials, Takata, Moses Lake Industries, and Astoril. Mitsubishi is the newest Japanese company to start in Grant County as they build a hangar for testing of the new jet series. Now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We'll be back right after this.